Open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board for July 10th, 2018. I would now call to order our meeting. The first item on our agenda is to approve the agenda. So I would need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Discussion?
There is a bill for the public hearings that are due.
I saw that. I'll do that under, I was going to do that under new business.
Okay, that's
Yep.
fine. So you're aware.
Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor? Aye. Minutes for approval, June 26th, 2018. I need a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
I heard a second from Ken. Okay. Moved by Susan. Discussion? There being none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, unanimous. Would you give these to Sue, please? I mean to Heather. Okay, I have one public hearing notice. Heather, can I have the other one on?
She's the clerk, so she'll use both of them.
Okay, you got both of them? Okay, can we do, let's see here. I'm going to do Littleton Road first, if you would.
The agenda is in front of
Yeah, but I'm going to quickly, because it said 6:15, so I realize.
you. Okay?
We will get to Pearl Street, don't worry. Yep. Open up Littleton Road public hearing. Okay, the clerk will now open the public hearing for Littleton Road.
So the first one.
186 Littleton Road.
Public hearing notice, Ayer Planning Board, in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, MGL Chapter 40A, Section 9, and Ayer zoning bylaws, Section 8.1, Aquifer Protection Overlay Districts. The Ayer Planning Board will hold a public hearing at 6:15 p.m. on Tuesday, July 10th, 2018, to consider a request for a special permit application by Pingree-Ville Realty Trust, Brent Brothier, trustee, to construct a 40-foot times
1 by 16.
60-inch accessory detached garage located at 186 Littleton Road, further identified as Assessor's Map 30, parcels 9 and 12. The hearing will be held in the Selectmen's Meeting Room at the Ayer Town Hall. Copies of the special permit application can be obtained at the offices of the Ayer Town Clerk and Planning Department at the Ayer Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Massachusetts.
Okay, now it's my understanding, Mark, if the Board of Health, we need to get input from, and we can't act on this yet, correct? So I would want to, let me finish my thought. I want to then continue the hearing to July 24th. So if you could give the rationale to that.
Yes. Before this new bylaw was adopted, the planning board was the special permit granting authority for uses in the Aquifer Overlay District. But with the new bylaw in place, it is the planning board now, with the Board of Health being required to give their input to the planning board on all cases that require a special permit within the Aquifer District. So the planning board needs to get the feedback from the Board of Health before acting on the plan.
Okay, having said that, I encourage our board members then to be prepared to act completely on it for July 24th. That'll give us time to do our homework and have the Board of Health provide the necessary input. So with that in mind, if I could have a motion to continue the hearing until July 24th at our next regularly posted meeting.
Move to continue the hearing for the special permit application for Weddington Littleton Road until July 24th.
Seconded. Discussion. There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And again, I realize I've taken them out of order, but that was the rationale for that. Let us move now to the continued site plan review on 4 Pearl Street for Lewis Frampton. I see Lewis in the audience. Again, I would, I'm sure you've all done your homework, so I'll capsulize for you. Basically, the 4 Pearl Street site plan was deferred based on legal review from town council based on a non-conforming pre-existing. And in fact, on all points, the site plan can be approved under our current 9.1 based on the fact of, again, non-conforming pre-existing, and town council agrees with that, and our town planner has in fact gone out and re-chalk-lined, if you will, and Mr. Frampton has agreed to the site markings or the parking lot striping of the delineated spaces to ensure the parking lot is adequately identified for each of the, what would then be, 5 tenants. So based on all of the review we have from town council and from Mr. Schultz, building commissioner, we're in agreement and on good standing to basically approve the site plan as presented with the provisions as outlined for the site to be clearly delineated with the parking lot striping. Okay, so with that in mind, if I could have a motion to that effect for approval.
Move to approve the site plan review for Pearl Street, based on opinions of the town council and the work the town planner has done with the property that the applicant is in agreement with.
Any further discussion? Do I have a second? Seconded. Discussion?
I still have some questions. I'm not sure if the question, again, was clear enough to town council. I'm trying to quickly find it. I probably should have brought my copy with me. I thought that the town council did not, okay, that would be page 2, paragraph 2, line 2. It starts near the end. If the existing parking at the property is pre-existing non-conforming. I don't think it is. It never got a permit. It's less than 10 years old. I think he ruled, my question had been, what if it's not? What do we do if it's not pre-existing non-conforming? And it never did receive a permit. I went back through all the records, and this state law says it has to be 10 years to be grandfathered in.
It is my understanding that we went on the premise that it is pre-existing non-conforming, correct?
Yes, and I made sure that the
And council understood that.
obtained,
Right.
all the material that I could obtain as far as the building records and everything went to town council. So,
Right. So we have what we have, and it went to council and decided.
Well, the council did not make an opinion if it was pre-existing non-conforming. Which was it says if it is, it's not making a finding that it is pre-existing non-conforming. And in order to be pre-existing non-conforming, it either had to receive a permit to build that parking lot, which it specifically did not, or it has to be 10 years old or older, and it's less than 8 years old. So it was non-conforming, it never, well, if it had a permit,
You don't
if somebody had given it a permit,
You don't need
it
a
could have
permit.
gotten around the 10 years, is
You
what
could,
I'm
but
saying.
You don't need a permit to create parking.
But then, it's non-conforming, but it's not pre-existing unless it's 10 years old. It could have gotten around the 10 years if it had gotten a permit and somebody had okayed it. But if it had gotten a waiver or a special permit or some other thing, but if it went in 2011, it's less than 8 years old, and it never had a review, it's never been okayed. So that's what we're deciding now, is that okay?
I'll make a comment on that.
I think the board should finish the discussion first.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to look at what, again, building commissioner agrees with town council based on the premise that it's non-conforming pre-existing. No,
Mr. Fay, if I may.
Yeah.
I think I understand Ms. Kennedy's points, but even prior to any paving that would have occurred, as we see the parking lot now,
right,
the building was constructed in 1880,
Right.
so people must have parked there in
Right.
some form or other, you know,
Right.
even before the parking. So
Right.
the fact that it did not require a permit for the parking per se, you know, I believe in my professional planning judgment that the parking it goes with the use.
right,
So it's all part of that non-conforming use.
Right.
So the parking is included in that.
right, and I
But
agree.
I would state further too, though, that we realize that a lot of these neighborhoods up there with the multifamily homes, you know, are in a similar situation.
Right,
And I propose that going forward, we have a joint meeting of the ZBA, the planning board, the building commissioner, myself, perhaps the community development director, and we develop a policy
Mhm.
for these pre-existing non-conforming
It's gonna come up
uses
again.
that addresses parking, addresses access, fire safety. You know, I think we really need that. And if there's one thing that this case is making us aware of, is the need to better address in a consistent fashion these pre-existing non-conforming uses in town. But unfortunately, as I mentioned at the last meeting, you know, by approving the variance for this
Yep.
fifth unit, the
Right.
ZBA essentially, you know, gave us some more difficult work of looking at the site plan requirements. So
Right.
that's what prompted the question to council.
well,
Mr. Chairman?
yeah, one second.
Okay.
Again, parking for a new area could use any parking on a site to satisfy the bylaw, as the existing parking is unaccounted for in our bylaw as written, so that's why I say that. But more to the subject on that, Ms. Kennedy.
On the ZBA application for the retaining wall, it said they were putting the retaining wall there for the purpose of putting in the new parking. And then the ZBA ruled that they didn't need a variance, but they weren't ruling on any other issue, which had to have been. So that seems to indicate that they were putting that in to add parking, that there was not parking there. And there is nothing to indicate that there ever.
Well, even if that is the case, I believe that we should adhere to town council's opinion, and that as messy as this case was, that we look to the future, look to improve the situation going forward with these types of uses. You know, perhaps the applicant can speak to how the parking existed before the
Well,
retaining wall, but, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's obvious that parking did exist and does exist at that site. So,
Can I read one little entry? So, the same paragraph, the second paragraph of the second page. This is the town council saying, therefore, in my opinion, if the property currently has less than 10 parking spaces, and in parentheses, I've been informed that 10 parking spaces are required for the 5-unit, multi-unit dwelling. We know this. And additional parking spaces are required due to the 5th unit. Only those additional spaces
mhm.
would need to comply with section 9.1. And the existing parking does not. need to require to apply. If the property currently has 10 parking spaces, which the applicant.
Which it does. Yep.
All the spaces are pre-existing and do not have to comply with 9.1. So I have an approach I think that might be helpful. If the applicant were to go out there now and stripe the parking, let's not talk about it anymore. Stripe it in the field, show us that the 10 parking spaces exist that are proposed on his sketch plan. It wasn't drawn by an engineer. So my only apprehension to the problem was that I didn't see a drawing from an engineer. Therefore, I can't know exactly where the lot line is.
Right.
But if I would be satisfied that we comply with the town council's requirement and our requirement, if it were striped right now as a condition for it to be approved with our site plan.
Well, that's exactly what Mark did this morning. That's why I'm
Well, you know,
comfortable.
it hasn't been professionally striped.
That's why I'm comfortable with approving.
Truck marks to just
Yeah.
measure it to make sure that.
I want to see it in the
Yeah,
field,
it's not professionally
that it's
striped.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm agreeing with the site plan that they had 10 pre-existing spaces. That's what I'm saying. Then I see it, then I know it's 10 pre-existing.
Yeah, and again, the applicant has agreed to strike the parking spaces, so,
I think that clears it up for me.
Jeff?
Well, my comment was, I read this as the current spaces exist, 10 can be put if the new ones are made conforming. So it's simple. A minute ago, I wanted to call the question because I think we've talked about this a lot.
Right.
It's obviously a important issue to the people on the board, and I think I was under the impression we're going to end up where we are with the town council's opinion and the
Right.
commissioner's opinion.
Right.
Whether I like it or not personally is absolutely not, will in no way color my opinion of it. It's not, we're trying to solve a problem that's existed for too long. And I think our time is better spent going forward and hoping that these problems don't exist for future boards.
Okay, any further discussion before I call the vote?
One more. I'm probably going to be alone here then in voting against it because just to clarify, the town council did not rule that it was pre-existing non-conforming. It says if the existing parking at the property is pre-existing non-conforming, then. But he did not conclude that it was.
No, and again, we've made that conclusion based on our own history.
But if you read the rest of the text in there, we can't go back and change it. We're not enforced. We can't look backwards and enforce something. If you read the comments of the agenda of it, things that are accepted exist. We're very, very limited in our way. And they talk about case law going back and changing something.
Right.
It's only existed for 8 years. So we have 10 years.
Call the question, Mr. Chair.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Abstention?
Abstention.
3 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 abstention. You got that?
Yes, that.
Heather? Thank you. More to come on that later, I'm sure in the near future. Item next. Seems I've done a little bit of out of order. We're on to site plan review for 28 Harvard Road, which at this point, we're in the position where we will accept the plan and then again reschedule to the 24th, I believe. Is that adequate, Mark?
Yes, I believe that this evening would be a good time after accepting the plan for consideration to at least allow the applicant to
Right.
present and to discuss some of the major issues such as traffic. Also, I'd like to report back to the board about my search for traffic consultants who can do an
Right,
independent review.
we'll get to that.
And that sort of thing, but yes.
Also, bear in mind that this is a combination site plan and special permit process, so at this point, I would like the presenters to come forward and identify themselves.
Good evening, board members. My name's Tom Gibbons, and I represent Global Partners LP. With me tonight are representatives from Global, David Avery, Dan Berry, and Kevin Doyle. Also, here tonight is Jesse Johnson from Bowler Engineering and Tim Letton from GPI, the traffic engineer. Just a point
If
of
I may,
clarification.
excuse me, Attorney Gibbons, you've all signed in, I trust?
No, I'm
We're
making
going to make sure we do that now.
Because I do not remember all
Tom
the
and I
names.
used to serve on the planning board.
Yes.
He knows the rules as well as I do.
Yes. Just a point of clarification. This is just site plan. There's no special permit associated with this?
I thought there was.
No, it's just.
Thanks.
the-
Ruth here is the special permit site plan combination. This one is.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, let me just finish this and then I'll...
One too many site plans.
Yeah.
The agenda.
I did.
Yeah, it doesn't say site plans.
So we're before you tonight for site plan approval for the construction of a new convenience retail center at 26 to 28 Harvard Road. The convenience retail center will consist of an all-town brand convenience store and a gasoline and diesel filling station. The convenience store building will be approximately 4,830 square feet, and there will be 8 gasoline dispensers and 4 diesel pump dispensers. 26 to 28 Harvard Road is an approximately 6.2 acre parcel located in the light industrial district. So although retail stores and filling stations are not of right use in the light industrial district, we did obtain a use variance from the ZBA on January 19th to allow this use at this location. We also obtained zoning board relief for 15-foot distance between the diesel pumps where 30 feet are required, and a 15-foot buffer along the cemetery line where 30 feet was required under the old bylaw. It's now 25 feet, but we did get a variance to allow for a 15-foot buffer along that property line. I know that Mark was aware of all that. I did bring copies of the recorded decisions on both of those matters. Prior to applying for our first zoning board relief, we did some public outreach. We sent invitations to all of the abutters that would have received notice under or that did receive notice under the ZBA. We did this before filing, and we had a meeting here. None of the abutters showed up to that meeting, nor did we have any abutters show up to any of the ZBA hearings. Now, we attribute that lack of participation or input due to the great design that we have, which the design is done such that we have the greatest distance. No, I mean that truthfully. We have the greatest distance between our project and the residential neighbors in the back, and we're retaining the existing vegetative buffer that's already there. And Jesse will take you through the plan, but you'll see the distance is very, very great from the residential property lines to the first structure on our pavement.
If I might interrupt a moment, Tom, just know that we need to move into another public hearing at 7. So
Sure,
about
I'm
20
almost
minutes.
done.
Well, no, I'm just to let you know, we can devote our attention to this for about 20 minutes.
Okay, very good. So once approved and constructed, the existing gas station across the street would be decommissioned. We truly believe this is a great project that provides much-needed services in that area of town. It'll create local jobs, and it will increase tax revenue for the town. So without further ado, I'll have Jesse Johnson come up and take you through the plan.
How many jobs do you know?
So per shift...
5 per shift is estimated for the first 2 shifts. It's proposed to be open 24/7.
Right.
So 5 full-time for each of the first 2 shifts, and probably 3 people, give or take, on the 3rd shift. As far as overall jobs, we could ask for that from the
15,
applicant.
13, 15?
Probably in that neighborhood, I would suspect. Yeah.
Good, good. Thank you.
So again, to get everybody familiarized with the site, you have the existing structure right here for Max, I'm sure everybody is familiar with, and then they have an overhead structure, open garage almost, if you will, right here. This dwelling that's shown in this area is no longer there. This black shows the property line, so I wanted to show you in reference to where we are with the cemetery, the residence in the back, and then the next residential neighborhood to the north. And this is their existing gas station across the street right here, and then the other cemetery. And I'll give you a blow-up of what we're proposing to do. So as Tom had mentioned, we have a 48,030 square foot proposed structure. That is their prototype. That's one of their larger prototypes.
Excuse me, 4,800.
48.
What did I say, 40?
48,000.
Yeah, we're gonna strike that.
Just do a
I just scared
building
them
with a
more than
6-acre
you.
lot and try and get a tractor trailer around it.
So as you typically see with most gas station layouts, you're gonna have the store located towards the rear, you have the dispensers located in the front, covered with canopies. We have 8 dispensers that will afford 2 fueling positions, or 16 total in the front. In the back, we have 4 dispensers for diesel, which will actually provide only 3 fueling positions because we have dual tanks on diesel trucks. So you want to have a dispenser on both sides. So you have 1, 2, 3 fueling positions for diesel, and we have a bypass lane for that. The way we laid out the site was to make sure we tried to get all the parking up against the front of the building and a separated parking area adjacent to the building. This allows for the most safety and convenience for anybody coming into the store, so that you don't have to have a lot of cars passing with traffic trying to circulate through the site. We do have it set up with 36-foot wide egress on both locations, dual, that will allow vehicles to come in, passenger vehicles to come into this site, and smaller trucks, and then the bigger trucks can circulate separately with their own one-way circulation around to the back for their fueling, and then back out. So you have no cross traffic with big tractor trailers coming in and crossing with the people just intended to come in for the front dispensers or to use the store itself. We have the fuel tanks located in the front, so we do check obviously for trucks being able to come in to be able to circulate properly, be able to pull up and have them fuel up and not have that blocking the main traffic coming in or out of the site that you sometimes see with some of the other facilities. When that fuel truck is parked, it sometimes can disrupt some of the traffic flow on the site, so we were careful to do that. Also, we do have the ability for the cars parked in this area to exit out if they needed to. Back out this way with the one-way circulation. We have trash in the back, so it's tucked away so you don't see it from the front of the site. So it's visually out of the way, but still allow, obviously, the truck to be able to come in and pick the trash and go out. We also have separate fuel tanks for the diesel in the back, so you don't have to have pumps that can accommodate that fuel being transferred from the front all the way to the back. That's a general overview of the site. I just would like to note as well, we deliberately put in separate turning lanes for vehicles leaving the site in case there was any consideration, and not have stacking back up in the site that would block some of the traffic circulating around, but I can let the traffic engineer talk briefly about that a little bit more after. Utilities pretty standard. We have an existing fire hydrant and water service coming into the site, so we can extend and upgrade the water for our new facility here. We can obviously extend power into the site. We have power along the front for us. We are proposing to do on-site sewage disposal. It's estimated at roughly 1,200 gallons per day. I know it was mentioned if we looked at potentially extending to the closest sewer, which is down at Markham Circle. Given the flows that we're dealing with, we have really good soils in a patch of the site here. I did extensive soil testing witnessed by the Board of Health. I have great soils. Given what they are generating for wastewater, what we can build for a size septic system that can handle it versus the cost and expense to extend it down the street, economically, this is our best option right now. We can certainly discuss that with the DPW of why we're landing on this, but that's where we're going with it at this stage.
Well, I think, yeah, the Board of Health as well. Go ahead.
Sure. The other big thing you obviously might have concerns about is what are you doing with your stormwater? We have a fuel station here. Typical that you'll see underneath canopies where you have dispensers, you have limiting barriers grooved into the concrete to prevent any type of spill that might happen at the vehicle itself when they're fueling, to make sure that none of that escapes the concrete pad under the covered canopy. Stormwater runoff that hits the site will have to go through the paces that you typically see from most sites, deep sump catch basins. We have those all routed through a pipe network that I'm showing here, and then ultimately to a water quality inlet and then an underground infiltration system. We were careful, I'll show you in a minute, to try to pull all of our pavement back as much as possible away from the existing resource that you see down at the southern part just off of the site. Right now pavement extends almost to the property line and actually a little bit beyond. We're proposing to pull all that out. We pulled the entrance away to try to create as much green space between our project and that existing sensitive resource. We are proposing, though, however, to put our stormwater controls ultimately back down in that area. But we have to go through, as I mentioned, the typical construction runoff being less than 3. You have to treat it to a certain standard, you have to recharge, and I've supplied a drainage analysis that demonstrates how we meet all the local and state regulations for this design. Lighting, we're certainly sensitive to lighting. We have to provide safety lighting underneath the canopies for people operating the pumps and dispensers. We have to provide that same back here, and then obviously we have to have proper lighting around the facility and at the entrances. But we were careful to provide full cutoff fixtures, so we made sure that we don't have light spillover on the abutting property, even to the cemetery to the north, and certainly to the properties on the back, and also to the south. So the lighting design submitted does demonstrate that with light levels that dissipate to 0 or 0.1 by the time we hit the property lines, but provide the safety that we want to see here. And then landscaping design, again, we were sensitive to the buffer on the side of the cemetery, so we proposed, you'll see existing trees out there now on the property line. We're proposing to supplement those with additional plantings to provide buffering and screening. All the buffering and screening that's at the back of the property now will remain in place. If you go out there and look up the hill, you can see that you can't really see the residents. That's not going to change. We don't need to propose to cut back into it. Given that we're a 6-acre site, we're actually only proposing to provide about 30% impervious surface on the site. I think that's pretty good for a 6-acre site that's zoned light industrial to only have roughly 32% impervious surface. We're actually only proposing to increase impervious surface by about 36,000 square feet for this size project. So we were careful to try to really work within that existing footprint of disturbance and impervious areas and not go farther back and intrude on the neighbors behind us. I'll just give you an idea of how that looks for the overview. I provided proposed, so if you follow the dark lines here, these are the proposed limits of pavement. Here's our building, the canopies, and then underneath you'll see where the building is now. So you can kind of get an idea of how our project's going to look over the existing layout. And as I've mentioned, so this is the farthest back we go. All that substantial vegetation that's in the back and going up the hill is going to remain. And here's what I was talking about with the parking lot. So if you drove into that parking lot now, the pavement actually extends beyond the property line, and it's a large portion of this. So our pavement edge is now here, so this all becomes green space. So essentially that whole parking area, other than this little piece, is what's going to be replaced with grass. I've already gone before Harvard because we have extension of pavement into the town of Harvard within their jurisdiction for the Conservation Commission. We propose to remove that pavement off property and replace it with grass. We've already got the RDA decision from them to do that, just to let you know. Outside of that, that's really the general overview of the project, but I'll let traffic talk and give you some of the highlights of that.
You ready for questions, Tom?
We were going to have a quick presentation from Tim Letton, the traffic engineer. Do you want to hear briefly from
Well,
Tim?
one of the questions is pertinent to that.
Sure.
Are you amenable to peer review and paying for the cost of same on the traffic study?
Yes, I was, yeah.
Okay, good. Continue, please.
So for the record, my name is Tim Letton. I work with Graham Peterson. I'm an executive vice president there, and I'm also a registered PD in the state of Massachusetts. So we have, back in March of this year, conducted a fairly thorough traffic study and traffic impact and access study for this project. I will attempt to give you folks the cliff notes, understanding that we're under somewhat of a time frame here, but if there's more questions and you'd like me to get into more detail on anything, please feel free to stop me and just,
We have a copy of the study, correct, Mark? That's the one you sent us?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a copy, so cliff notes are fine.
Okay. So, as Mr. Johnson stated, we're going to be basically taking 2 site drives today, redoing those, relocating those into 2 site drives, one at the northern end of the site and one at the southern end of the pavement. Both of those site driveways will have exclusive right turn and left turn lanes in a single access lane. So we started by taking traffic counts along Route 111 Harvard Road. We did those during the AM, PM, and Saturday peak hours. We also did some ATR counts for daily volumes as well. We spoke with the local police department to see if there's been any crash history in this area. We looked at the 5 most recent years of available data. We looked at 2013 through 2017. We found that there was one crash in the area during that 5-year period, which represents a much lower than average crash rate. That one crash was a result of a distracted driver who rear-ended somebody. We also, as part of our traffic data, collected speeds along the corridor as well. The roadway is posted at 35 miles an hour in both directions, northbound and southbound. We found average speeds to be 36 miles an hour northbound, 41 miles an hour southbound, and the 85th percentile speed, which would represent the speed at which 85% of the vehicles are traveling at or below, to be 41 to 47 miles an hour. So both significantly higher than the posted speed limit, which we took into consideration when we looked at sight lines and sight distances as you pull out of both of our site driveways. Even with those higher speeds, we found that sight distances were sufficiently met. We then took the data that we collected from 2018 and grew it to a 2025 design horizon, a 7-year design horizon. So to do that, we took background growth of 1% per year and basically increased the volumes by that. And we contacted the town planner's office to see if there were any projects in the vicinity that we should also take into consideration and would add a substantial amount of traffic on the roadways. We did not find any such projects. We did find 4 roadway reconstruction projects in the vicinity, but none of which were found to have any effect on the geometry that exists out there today. So with that, we then looked at how much traffic the site itself would generate. So the cliff notes there would be, we would anticipate the site to generate 536 vehicles during the AM peak hour, 439 during the PM peak hour, 452 during the Saturday peak hour. These, the proposed use, gas station, convenience store, typically has a pretty high pass-by percentage. What that means is it's not necessarily all new vehicles to the roadway network. For the most part, people are out and about throughout town, getting gas, getting their conveniences, continuing along their way. So for this type of use, the data that we use was from ITE. It's kind of the industry standard, and that ranged from 50 to 60% of the traffic. We also took credit for the 14, 3, and 4 vehicles that are accessing the site today during the weekday AM, PM, and Saturday peak hours. So with that, we found that we would add 190 new trips, basically, with pass-bys taken out and existing trips taken out during the AM and PM weekday peaks, and 196 during the Saturday. So a lot of numbers, but basically what we're looking at here is about 1 car every 18 seconds to 36 seconds or so during the peak hours. We then looked at level of service for both of these driveways to understand what the impacts would be both on-site as well as to vehicles traveling along Harvard Road. We found that during all 3 of the peak hours, levels of service would not be increased by more than 11 seconds along Harvard Road. And we do expect that we will see some queues and some delays with vehicles exiting the site. And we've made accommodations to the site design to be able to contain those queues within the site and out of the paths of travel. So that's the Cliff Notes version. I know a comment has been made also on whether a left turn lane or right turn lane should be considered in this stretch of road. We feel that with the amount of delays being added to Harvard Road, or the lack of amount of delays being added to Harvard Road, that a left turn lane would not be warranted today. But we'd be happy to kind of further those discussions with the board.
Well, I think at this time, actually, we want to, number one, does that conclude your presentation at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number one, I want to get a vote of the board to accept the plan. Given under town manager's recommendation at this point, I need a vote to accept the plan.
So moved.
Second discussion at this point?
Okay, a couple quick
Well,
questions. We're going to go.
Well, we're going to continue. I want to accept
Yeah.
the plan and then we'll move on. We still got a few minutes. Any discussion on accepting the plan? Okay, there being none, all in favor?
Aye.
We will continue the site plan process to July 24th. Is that amenable to the applicant?
Yes.
Okay. Sue, before I go to you, I want to address some major items. Are you in the seat of the DPW memorandum from July
Yes.
9th?
Yes.
Okay. Are you in the seat of the economic director's 2-page comments?
Yes.
Yes. Are you in the seat of the town manager's site plan review at this time?
Yes.
Okay. I won't belabor all of that, I've only got a few minutes, but we'll need all of those questions answered. We're on a healthy journey here to get this done, so.
Sure.
With that, again, knowing that Conservation is going to meet tomorrow night, I guess, July 12th?
Thursday. Thursday.
Thursday, okay. Board of Health is still looking for food service input based on food handlers and such, I take it? Okay. Again, I talked about DPW and economic. And are you amenable to taking care of the abutter notice process for us? I want to make sure we notify any abutters involved.
I don't think that requires any
It's
more
not
notice to
required. We
notice.
haven't passed the regulations yet. It's not required until those new
I gotta wait
regulations
like,
are
I
done.
gotta wait like we get the regulations approved.
Right,
Yeah.
which hopefully will be later this evening. But,
Okay.
Yeah, we decided not to for this one.
I tried to.
Well, I will say, as I mentioned, we mailed everybody notice of our public outreach meeting. They all got notice for the two different ZBA hearings.
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise.
Well, this is gonna draw some public attention, so. Okay, I'll have to wait till we get that approved before I can require it, okay. But I mean, when this word gets out, it's gonna fill the room. is my-
And I know, obviously that's fine.
And that's good, yeah.
It is good.
Public
I think there was a lot of participation. Some of the board members might remember that
Yeah, you've
this
been,
similar
we've been
project
down this road before.
was permanent over on the
Briefly.
Jarvis land.
Yeah.
And although I wasn't involved at that time, it's my understanding that there was a lot of opposition to that. And I think everybody likes this location much better than that.
Yeah.
Truly, that's
Okay,
what.
so, and again, for clarity, I would hope that we can deal with a single source point of contact. Would that be you?
Yeah, I'm filled with
Primarily,
it, yes, yeah.
because this is it's a major project, and we've been down that road before where if you change players a little later, things get a little confused over who said what and who agreed to what and so forth.
Yeah, so if you want to run everything through me, I'll make sure everybody on the team gets it.
Yeah, good. Good, that covers. Sue, you had a comment or not? Question?
Just real quick, I'm gonna, now that I see this, look some more stuff up at home. But I noticed in your traffic study, you did it in March, and you said that was it 4% below the average? And so you use the average. But I was wondering what the high month was and how much above the average that might, because on a daily basis you use the peak hour, not the average hour. So I'm not sure if it's 4% above or 10% above or...
That information is usually contained within the appendix of our report.
We didn't get the appendix the first time. I think we got some of them.
I will say it is industry standard to design for the average month
Today.
conditions.
Okay.
March is 4% below. It looks like it's about a 4% swing, 4.6% swing, with June being the highest month. And like I say, it is industry standard to design for average month.
Okay. And last, I'm sure that this probably isn't, but I thought I'd ask, is the Rotary was not included in the study area, and it doesn't look like there probably is enough traffic to create queues there, but it is, was that in the appendix or?
No, you're correct. We did not include the Rotary or the circle within our study area. We just included the two proposed driveways. Our thoughts were that we weren't adding significant traffic to the Rotary.
Okay, at this time then I want to ask for a motion to have, basically to authorize Mark to seek, I realize, but I want to get this motion out of the way. I want a motion to authorize Mark to seek appropriate peer review in this matter and authorize him to coordinate with town manager, given that we don't have a budget per se, but we do when we have to. So I think
Yes.
you'll have to work it out with town manager on the budget side.
Right. And Mr. Chairman, just on that point, in the planning board rules
Well,
and
let me
regulations
finish my thought.
that were adopted a few months ago, the planning board does have the ability through, I think, chapter 44, to hire an applicant hire a consultant at the applicant's expense to.
Right, well, that's why I wanted to get a figure before,
Yes.
we
Yes.
get a figure and get that to the
Right,
applicant
yes.
so that they agree.
So we are
to absorb
seeking,
the
we are
cost.
seeking 3 estimates, and I can even tell you who we're looking at so far. Judith Nitch Associates, VHB, and Kittleson Associates.
Yeah. So let me get the motion out of the way to get that process moving. Okay, so
Yeah,
again,
received
a
it.
motion to authorize town planner to seek bids, if you will, for peer review.
Move to authorize the town planner to seek bids for peer review for the traffic study
Seconded.
for the
Second,
Roland Montello project.
discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved, unanimous. Thank you. Further to questions, we got a few minutes and then we're going to move on, but any further questions at this time? Ken had his hand up first. Or second.
This driveway, you considered it, you went to 36 feet on the driveway, does that fall within our regulation, or are we going to need to issue a change for that?
No, we looked at that, and the way the regulation was written, we were actually allowed to do that wider than, I don't remember the exact wording off the top of my head, but that was something kind of kicked around back and forth, and I believe it was because of the use that we were proposed to do would allow for wider than 24 feet, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, I think you should check into that.
So
We did look into that.
we did, actually, we did talk with Charlie Schultz about that before we filed the ZBA, and under the old section 5.11, it says minimum width per curb cut is 25 feet, so it was a minimum, not a maximum.
Okay.
So we didn't need zone relief for that.
Okay. Anything else, Ken?
Yeah. You considered the request for the sidewalk at this point in time, or are we still thinking about that?
Well, so we've reviewed that, and we'll probably be in a better position to talk about that at the next meeting.
Yeah, those, I'm sorry to interrupt, those are addressed in DPW comments,
Yes.
lighting and sidewalk, and that's why, yeah, so,
I just want to know if they started thinking about it.
yeah, no,
It's going to be a big deal, so they will think about it.
more to come later, yeah, go ahead.
And I guess I just ask you to consider that the entrances have vertical granite curb and a concrete curb that's shown in the drawings. And I'm not sure how the engineer and the applicant feel about that for cost. But I can tell you right now, we all know that if you run trucks in there, plows and whatnot all the time, the concrete's going to get wet. The drawings show concrete. So I'd like to see the vertical granite curb there.
Okay.
There's so much in it.
Okay, Jeff? Is that it, Ken? I'm sorry.
That's the
Yeah,
knowledge.
Jeff?
Yeah, this is, believe it or not, offering an opportunity to the neighborhood to get convenience items. And they may not always be in an automobile. So one of the things I'd like you to consider seriously is access to the property for non-motor transportation. Unfortunately, Devon's Crest is cut off from the rest of the services in town. I'm sure they'll find a way through the woods, but getting them down from around the rotary and down the street as safely as possible. They're able to do things. It'll give you repeat business, it'll improve the look of that area. And we are looking forward to that type of an approach, Police Street's approach here in town. I appreciate it, if you really seriously consider that. There's also a hell, you can't say that word on TV, there's a great deal of cycling traffic in this area. I think you would be remiss to miss it.
Seconded.
I just informal, I'm away from the rail trail, we got a lot of people coming up and down that area. So,
Question, Tom, is it Markham Circle or Devon's Crest that it's abutting?
So Markham Circle is up, further up here.
I believe Devon's Crest is directly behind it.
And,
if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
Willard
It is-
Road and
it is
Devon's Crest is
Devon's
behind it.
Crest and- Okay,
You know, that's all privately owned property along
Right,
the border,
right.
but yes, it's Willard Road.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I read that and I thought maybe it was Markham Circle. Again, also, by the way, before we conclude, Mark Ashenbo, if you would, coordinate a site plan visit, a site walk.
Yes. Yes, we should.
Are we ready to look at dates now on that?
Actually, one more question. This is 3 parcels that are
So they,
marked.
yes,
You are in control of all 3 parcels?
yes, it's a long-term lease for all 3 parcels.
We've been asked to render judgment on the plans before. that aren't in control of the applicant.
Yeah.
Let's not make that mistake again.
And there is with the application a letter of authorization for the owner of the property.
Thanks.
One more question before we
Clear the
move.
record.
Two more questions before we move.
Could you point on this map approximately where the rear pumps will be
We'll show you.
on this one?
Oh, I know what you're saying. So I don't think do it on this one. I don't think I showed you this one yet.
Okay,
Like here are your rear pumps.
okay.
That's the closest proximity, so.
Because they will be coming at night, the big trucks?
Yes, yeah. But as I mentioned, this is all natural buffering, and then my lighting levels will be non-existent.
What's the elevation change, if you don't mind, between the pad underneath the tanks servicing trucks and the pump serving the trucks and the rear elevation of the property, you know? The difference in elevation?
Yeah, 2 seconds on that.
And just a comment while Jesse looks that information up is that originally designed, if we met the 30-foot distance between the diesel pumps, we were back quite a bit. I forget the exact measurement, but might have been 80 to 100 feet further back towards the, what's that?
They're hard to use.
Yes, yeah.
About 40 feet. We're at 241 at the pad for the diesel pumps. The top of the hill is roughly 281.
Thank you. It was difficult to read on the plans, and Nathan had the big set.
Yes, you did.
I had the big set.
Ken, you had a follow-up?
Thank you.
I just wanted to double check one thing. This is a clarification of the timing of the zoning change. You are under the new zoning regulation at this point.
Yes,
Crossed
but
into the application came in
Yes.
at the time.
for site plan, yes.
Right, yes,
So
we're
there's a bicycle
going
combination.
by the new, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that we have bike
Yes,
racks.
we provide bike
and,
racks on the side. So
We'll talk about that later.
they're right here.
And it's just,
That's-
you need a gallon of milk. Going all the way to the center of town from Devon's Crest is a hassle.
Yeah.
And it's, you're 24/7. There's going to be traffic coming in, let's make it as safe as possible.
Sure.
Any further questions at this time? Okay. All right, then, I'd like to get, Mark, if we can get some sense of a site visit. Are you open to a date we can come up with and have a representative do a site walk with us?
Sure.
Okay. You get some dates in mind, Mark?
Well, let's see, last time we did a site visit in the morning, which might be good in the summertime because before it gets too hot. Almost any morning I think is good. Would you like to try for next week?
Well, I
or
think we
the
said
weekend?
Tuesday was based on the fact you're in here for a long day anyway. I mean,
Sure, Tuesday
what-
would be fine.
Well,
Tuesday morning, next week could work.
yeah.
if you
Is
are
Tuesday
ready to do
available
that.
for the board?
I can,
I can do it.
As early as possible.
Yes,
Okay.
my
I agree.
suggestion would be go during peak hour,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Tuesday at 9 o'clock
get an idea of the traffic.
Opinion?
AM?
a.m.
That was, sorry, that was
That's
silly.
July 7th.
Sorry.
The thing about peak hours over there, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to get in and out would be a pain, but it gives you an idea of,
My idea of traffic peak over there probably is like 6:15 to,
Oh,
in the
yes.
morning.
okay.
So
I
9
Not
o'clock.
working.
6:15, I mean, I can,
Nine-
I'm with the chickens.
Yeah.
I'm up to.
I'll
Nine-
have a 4:30
9 is
today.
okay, but is 9 o'clock okay with you?
That's good for you.
9 o'clock?
Well, let's hear
You
from
know me,
Sue.
you it as early as possible.
Yes.
Okay,
I've retired 5 times, so the sun doesn't come up, until I open my eyes.
okay, so 9 a.m. next Tuesday. We'll meet at the site.
July 17th.
At the site?
Well, I'd rather meet here.
Oh, well, the
July
planning
17th.
board can meet here. Do you want to all meet here? I mean,
We might as well meet you at
I
the
don't,
site.
want- the reason I don't want to walk on the site without the site rep.
We'll be
Go
there.
there.
All right, we'll meet here. We'll all meet here.
Well, I'm sorry, why don't we meet you there, but we'll be there before you get there. We'll be there at 10 minutes to 9. and-
Yeah, I'll be there. I actually live in Townsend. I drop by the site, so I can easily do that.
Unless anybody needs a ride. I'll give them a ride.
No, you can understand, we
Right,
don't
but-
have 5 people walking on property,
Sure.
who are these people,
We'll
right?
make sure we're there
To be there for
when you get there.
And you can park in the Matson parking lot, obviously, right outside.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
So wait,
So
are
what
we
was the
meeting at
final?
town hall at 9
I
or
am on the site.
9 a.m.,
on the site? No one's coming to town hall.
Yes.
Well, no, we should get here at quarter of.
all right, we'll meet here at quarter
Yeah,
of.
we'll meet here at 8:45.
I'll be
I'll
here.
send an email out Monday when I'm
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That concludes
Thank you.
our business up to this point.
Well, for all the things we
We'll see
clarify
you
around
next
here,
Tuesday.
Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
right?
One of the issues.
So it's 8:45.
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Seconded.
No lunch? Yeah? Okay, I have,
It's the
Madam
hip thing to
Clerk,
be
if you
busy
would,
now.
Another public hearing.
It's the hip thing to be busy now.
Okay.
And for the
Okay,
future, if there's a typo,
I know.
do I
Yeah, that's a
read
good
it
question.
as?
No, you need an answer for that.
Stop. Ruth, did you have a question?
Public hearing, is it on the agenda?
Yeah, the public hearing for site plan,
Yeah,
Yep,
the regulations?
right after.
down the bottom. Public hearing, site plan regulations.
Oh, sorry,
Yep,
I was
okay.
confused.
And before I
She
get
has an
going
important
again,
question.
if there's a typo, do I read it as,
You read it as correct.
Regulation.
read it as correct?
As correct, yeah. I would
Rather
read-
than the typo.
I wouldn't read the typo.
Yeah, don't read
Okay.
any typos.
Okay, I wasn't
Typo in my report? or-
sure if there's a,
No, that's
No,
a fair
no.
question for how detailed we are being.
so,
She should edit mid-speech with, okay.
The public hearing.
With her
as-
best.
As posted. And I didn't notice the typo, so I don't know what you're talking about. I can't really fully address the issue. But we need to open the public hearing. That's all I
Okay.
know.
public hearing notice, Air Planning Board pursuant to section 3.5.6 of the Air zoning bylaw. The Air Planning Board will hold a public hearing at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, July 10th, 2018, in the Selectmen's Meeting Room at the Air Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Air, to adopt new site plan regulations. The site plan regulations address plan submittal requirements, review procedures, and developmental standards for commercial, industrial, and multifamily development projects in the various zoning districts of the town. Copies of the proposed site plan regulations can be obtained at the offices of the Air Town Clerk and Planning Department at the Air Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Air, Massachusetts.
I didn't hear any typos.
It was the other one.
Okay.
It said it was
Oh,
40
okay.
feet by 60 inches.
All right then, site plan regulation. Take it away, Mark.
Okay, Air Planning Board, there are no changes from the previous version, except for one minor change, which is on page 2, 3E, where we put that, the butter notification clause, that was originally taken out. It was in there in the very first draft, then it was taken out for the second draft, and now it's put back in. But nothing,
Okay.
other than that, nothing in the text of this has changed from the prior viewing of the planning board. So,
Okay. So you're prepared to accept a vote up or down on the
Yes, I believe so. If there are no further questions, I believe-
approve draft 3.0 of new air site plan regulations,
Yes.
go final? Okay. Could I have a motion to that effect?
Move to accept the draft 3.0 of the new air site plan regulations dated June 27, 2018, public hearing version, July 10, 2018. I'm assuming we're going to accept this and make it up our new site plan regulations?
Yes.
Good. I didn't know how to say that except that way. Long
Good.
motion, so.
Okay, do I have a second?
Seconded.
Second. Any discussion at this time? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. So you'll run off copies and get me a
I'll run a
final?
copies, get you one to sign.
Can you make a footnote to, I'd like to provide the board with, at the end of all this,
Oh,
a
yes.
whole
Oh, once.
nice little
what-
white book of all.
Yes, once we
Good
get
plan.
the okay from the AG's office that our signing bylaws have been
Yep,
accepted,
yep.
I want to get all those bound and printed for all board zoning and planning,
Excellent.
all members, plus some in the town hall for sale. Same with all our regulations, along,
good.
once these have been adopted, new site plan applications, I will draft those, along with checklists to go on with those as part of the application process for all applicants to go through and chalk off and make sure they have all the items that'll be a part of their application. Those will take a few weeks as I'm out for the rest of the week, but those will be in the next month.
Excellent. I think I did call the vote, did I not?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
May I ask a question when it comes to the regulations
Yes.
and the publication of regulations? I understand and happy that most town bylaws, regulations, Commonwealth of Massachusetts regulations, all that have to be in a paper copy. Would please, could we please have made available to us a PDF copy of them?
Yeah, they're actually on the town website.
Well, I
Our
understand.
rules and regs are,
Yeah,
and so will these
but
ones.
as board members, whatever the final version is, just because I often have electronically, I can search much more easily.
Oh, yeah, sure, I can do that.
I'll always go to the paper for the actual version, but it's just,
Oh, yeah, no, once I get the draft taken off of
the
this,
whole package.
and it
goes
gets
up,
posted to the website, I will send that same PDF to
we
you
get
guys.
to the binder just all in one shot.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
great.
and then you'll get it all in one binder too, with everything tabbed out.
Thanks. Just, it's a matter of convenience.
But I'm just waiting for that zoning, because I don't,
Okay, town planner update on subdivision regulation.
Okay, we have a small subcommittee of Jim Fay, Ken Diskin, myself, and Dan Shalwick from DPW to work on the subdivision regulations, which we're in the process of doing. We've had 2 meetings so far. We've settled on definitions, and we've started looking into the procedural aspects. So, you know, that will be a larger project than doing the site plan regulations because of the technicality of, you know, drainage, roads, how much bituminous you need and the subpavement. But, you know, kudos to Dan and the DPW. They did a fantastic job on the prior iteration of revising all those technical requirements. So we'll be looking at those, we'll be comparing them to some other towns. And I would anticipate that in the early fall, just as we approve the site plan regulations, that we'll be able to act on subdivision regulations probably in September, October or so. So that's
Thank you.
much needed. If anything, the subdivision regulations were the oldest, most out-of-date set of regulations in the town. So
It's nice to be first in something.
Okay, on this,
also, I have a minor report from Dan. I asked him about 48 Central Ave, and he stated that he
NIPD's,
he
Go ahead.
contacted the contractor who said they would be constructing a trap rock temporary construction entrance by Thursday. So hopefully that'll address some of the debris that's been coming onto the road.
This is the 7-unit development.
Oh, yes.
That's been lying dormant for the last month or so.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else on that?
No, except he is aware that they do need to take a very close look at the stormwater, which they will be doing.
yeah, Dan called me looking for the contract's information last week, so that was without me prompting him or the town hall at all. So it gives you an idea that they are aware of the situation and the DPW is looking at it.
So they are also aware that we will be full of permits and posted on.
I think you guys are the only ones that think that. Because I brought that up to conservation. And Joanne does not see that. On the conservation side of it, that the site does not meet the qualifications for a NIPD's permit.
I don't know who Joanne is. But she
She's a
said-
conservation
I know
administrator.
who she is. I know where she's coming from.
Yeah, so if there's an issue with that, you might want to speak with the DPW directly, because I
We'll
don't,
see him Thursday.
Yeah.
We know it requires a permit because it's cutting more than full, this is, regulations 5, 6, 4.50.
Sue, would you give these?
The issue is we have a project laying fallow right now and no recourse as a town. And I think that's the concern that I
Actually, why
have.
did you ask conservation?
I
because
think,
Because
She asked the wrong person.
I asked conservation because she's actually went through training with the DPW for stormwater management, because she will eventually at
Yeah,
some
but-
point be the inspecting authority
But-
on that as well.
yeah, let's move on to the fact that we got to get with Mark. He's the agent in the story.
Right.
Yes.
And they agreed to that, you know, even though the planning board is the authority, is in terms of the present
He's-
stormwater
he's-
bylaw.
he's the agent.
They're the
Yes.
agents
Yeah.
who can do the inspections and know what they're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else before I go to new business and/or administrative announcements?
I just wanted to mention that I will be attending tomorrow evening's meeting at the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission on their transportation plan.
Okay,
So I will have something to report back on July 24th about that.
okay. In that regard, I know you unable to attend last meeting, but I would like you to be prepared for next meeting to give us a CPC update.
Oh,
You're our CPC
I can
rep.
give you an update now. We canceled our meeting. It was July 4th.
I like those reports.
I like
You say
those
you're
too.
community focused, huh?
Very. We were at the town events.
In the broader picture, I'm looking at like anything in CPC as far as any various empty lots that people are looking to purchase or anything that,
I can give you that next week, next time. I didn't know that that was the request.
well,
I will.
yeah,
If you
that's
came out
what,
last meeting, you'd know.
yeah.
Apparently.
No, but, yeah, so basically give us a CPC update, you know.
Every time I'm here?
No.
No.
This will probably be once a quarter, I would think.
Once a quarter.
I would love that list of properties
Yeah.
that
Okay.
they have one.
Okay, we got
I'm
anything,
not even writing the right thing.
anything else?
Quarterly.
Okay, moving to administrative announcements. The only thing I can think of is where do we fit with the reciprocity business of where we're doing something now right beside Harvard with this recent site plan.
What do we meet
Shouldn't
with
we,
that?
shouldn't we notify them that?
Well, unfortunately, so if it's a special permit, we have to notify all budding towns and
Towns.
abutters. So that would have been,
Yeah,
we, with conservation, and I believe Mark did as well,
Yeah.
notify the conservation agent and Mark notified the town planner over there to make sure they were aware of the projects.
okay.
So
I
that,
just
that
wanna-
was done, yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Just say like,
I'd see
hey,
my
by the way,
buddies
you
in
know
Harvard
this is
say,
going
hey,
on.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I
Sure.
never had that sort of, with
Yeah,
the
okay.
Temple and Groton, but, they did come to conservation.
Okay.
And I believe they said they had met with,
No, but I mean, just our responsibility as a board to officially.
but I would love to
Yeah, we did.
get any feedback from them on,
Unofficially,
Yeah.
a member of the Harvard Planning Board does know that it's going in.
Yeah.
We were discussing the road breakfast
Yeah.
over the weekend, so.
Yeah. No, I just like the official link,
Yeah,
to
I
say, hey, our
appreciate
town
that.
planners talked to their town
Yes, I
planner.
have talked to their town planner, and they're well aware of it, but
Good-
for
Good
good
neighbor
or- for good
policy.
or ill, there's no formal intermunicipal process. Like there
Yeah,
is in
yeah.
New Hampshire for development of regional impact, you can get formal
Yeah.
input from other towns. Massachusetts
Yeah.
doesn't quite have that, except
Yeah.
on Cape Cod.
Especially where you mentioned you might be dipping into Harvard and cutting their grass.
Right.
Yeah, I know that they did call too and ask when it was on our agenda.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were gonna send somebody, I just wondered if they had
Yeah.
anybody on the sign-in sheet,
Yeah.
but I think they were gonna try to
Okay.
keep an eye on that.
One other thing for you administratively, I'd like you to reach out again to Ed Starzak and
Oh,
get a
yes.
commitment for him to come to the board, because I was talking to Senator Eldridge, and things are starting to perk on Vicksburg Square.
Right, he did call me 2 days after our meeting where he did not attend, and he apologized for, spacing out the meeting essentially.
Well,
So,
Let's,
he-
let's,
he does-
let's
he-
get him
he
here,
is aware
because
that
that's
he needs to
important.
come back.
That's important to
Yes.
our
Yes,
West Main Street gateway too.
yes, definitely.
Okay, under new business, I've got two things. Anyone else got anything under new business before I go to my two? Okay. I'm going to give Mark a copy of an email I got from a resident. The question goes to how many houses are in the final count of the Moore projects? How
I
many-
took care of that this morning.
From Dan Gleason?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell him
I told
Jim
him,
Fay said X? Okay, good. All right.
I did not hear back from him, but I did email.
So the second question, at what point, let's see, at what point the plan making a paper street and extension of Jackson Street?
Jackson Road, yeah. And if you look at the plans, there is a right-of-way at the end of Jackson Road to one of the lots on Jane Riley Lane, Riley Jane Lane, whatever it is. And I told him I'd have to look further into the deeds and see if there was an actual easement listed on them. And I don't know the year, I don't know if it's actually been built yet or not. So, and I didn't give him the exact counts of what's in the
Is
approved plans.
Jackson Street is a paper
There
street,
is,
probably
no,
runs under
there
the
is a
pond?
right-of-way at the end of Jackson Road shown on the plans that goes one lot on Riley Jane Lane.
Right.
So I told him, that is on the plan. I'd have to look further into the deeds to see if that easement has been recorded or not.
Okay.
And that's what I told him.
So
I gave him the lot numbers.
The answer to question 2 is no.
Without
Probably.
looking further into the deeds for the easement, I can't
Okay.
Can I
say.
ask you to go back and read both the questions?
Taken care of. Excellent.
The number of lots in
Say again?
both.
Before, instead of interrupting during the discussion, could you read each question in its completeness so I can hear the question?
Oh, sure. How many houses are in the final count of the 2 more projects?
There's only one more project left. She's
So
talking about.
Nashua Street Extension and Pleasant
Riley
Street.
Jane. Okay, those are the 2. So what was the answer that was given?
8 in Nashua Street Extension and 16 in Pleasant Street, and then named the 2 streets in the cul-de-sac on the end.
Trevor Trail.
and yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
24 was the number.
Okay.
That was given to him by the board. Is that what
And-
I'm saying? 8 and
Yes,
16.
8 and 16, yes.
Okay.
And at one point, a plan called for Jackson Street, making a paper road extension of Jackson Street, making that a reality, and extending that into a new development off Pleasant. Is that still in the plan?
And all I stated was that there was shows an easement to one lot,
Okay.
and without looking further into the.
So again, the answer to the question would have been no.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's that. Okay, we have a bill to pay, which is the publishing cost to the Lowell Sun for $162.52 for the public hearings as posted.
The 29th. There'll be another bill for next
Yep.
fiscal year.
Move to pay.
So just the 182 covers both, right?
Correct.
Yep, good. So in the amount of $182.52.
Move to pay the invoice from the Lowell Sun in the amount of $182.50.
Okay,
52?
second? Did I get a second?
Second.
Yeah. Discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, unanimous.
You don't pay the newspaper, they might do something bad about you.
Well, if I don't get that to accounting tomorrow, they're gonna be.
Okay, anything else under new business or otherwise? If not, we shall move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
Do I have a second?
Nobody
wants to leave?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, give this,
See that, so I can
yep.
put it in her box before I forget.